Sunday Night Football.
A small American town, 15 years ago.
Shawn, the soul of Detroit.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. I think he'll come back.
Out of my face. It's gone.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might qualify, ML.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now, Al?
Hey kids, it's your old pal ML Elric, and if you're a soulmate, you got to watch not only hear a great intro, but you got to watch it. And my favorite part is at the end where the ghost shows up. He's wearing glasses. It really is Shawn coming to kill us all, but he's not here. It's Erika Erickson, Marc Fellhauer, and I. And Shawn is recovering from Monday Night Football, where I think Marc just got out of the parking garage. Erika was probably asleep after saying her prayers, and then,
Oh, yes, I'm such a...
Yeah.
Good girl.
Maybe making some blankets for the poor or something like that. Cutting the edges off sandwiches for colleagues and stuff like that. Just kind of very, very motherly, kindly type of things. Although she came in here and said that she's in devil mode for Halloween, so I'm not really sure how you reconcile that.
Yeah, every day.
Every day is devil mode day?
For Halloween. Yeah, every day is Halloween.
Be tough to be in that truck for 8 or 10 hours a day with a she beast.
Yeah, you gotta. Well, no, I mean obviously I'm nice, but you gotta deal with a lot of people out there.
Well, and before we go, you got to tease us a little bit about your latest investigation because it's pretty creepy. It's pretty scary.
And
it has a little Norman Bates feel to it too.
Yeah.
There's always. You guys know what it's like. I mean, you look at something and you think it's something, and then you dig and you're like, whoa, okay, this is a lot different than I thought it was.
Oh yeah, it's almost always a little different than what you thought it was. It's bad in terms of investigative reporting when you dig and you're like, no, it's not here. There's nothing here. And not because you want somebody to be in trouble, but because you spent time and people are like, where's the story? I'm like, well, the really good reporters say, there's no story. We got to move on.
And that's happened many times.
Yeah.
But do you like the stories like, well, I think automatically Kilpatrick for you, Elric, where it's just, oh my God, another story comes out of this. Another one. I mean, you're just unwrapping a ball of twine.
Yeah, although, I really liked him and I really wanted the city to do well. So it was one of these things like,
That's kind of what it's like.
Yeah.
Well, for Erika, the story you're doing, I'm not going to give it away, but it seems like there's another level, then another layer, then another layer. And in the end, how much time do you have to present the story?
Yeah, that's the only issue is what, 4 minutes at the most. And then it's in the beginning, and I guess I could tease it up a little bit. So I was kind of, I started looking into a story about this guy allegedly scamming people, selling cars, taking down payments for these cars, or taking their cars to fix them. And then just never returning them. So
wait, is that legal?
It's certainly frowned upon. It's not a best practice.
Right. So he either never had the cars that he was selling, or he would just never give, like he's had this one guy's car for, 4 years and just stopped returning phone calls, said his family members were dying or died, and just excuse after excuse after excuse. And I thought it was just a couple people. And then I found out, no, there are dozens of people in different cities, in another state. He's wanted. There's civil cases against him. I now found out there's a bunch of LLCs, and he's connected to this guy who's in federal prison for this multi-million-dollar scheme with all these other people. So it just has expanded and I went to his house and confronted him. So that'll be in the story as well. So it's taken a long time, a lot of legwork. I've got probably, a foot of documents of text messages that I'm going through. So.
Oh yeah, and when you rolled up on this guy, did he cop to it? Did he slam the door? Did he run? I mean, what was his reaction? Or was it like, oh hey, Erika Erickson, what's up? It's like, oh, not as cool to meet her as I thought it would be.
Let's just say someone who looked very, very much like him answered the door.
Oh, but it was a doppelganger.
Oh, perhaps.
Oh,
a twin. Yeah.
That's a very Halloween type of thing to have.
Yeah.
Like on the soap operas when they bring the evil twin.
The evil twin.
He'd just have a goatee.
I'm sure.
It's like, oh, it's not really him.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that story is going to air probably the end of the month, I'm guessing.
By the way, speaking of a really bad but good Halloween movie, Doppelganger with Drew Barrymore.
Oh my gosh! Wait, when was that movie? What year?
Early '90s. It's so bad, but it's really entertaining.
I love
she
bad
plays two
but
people.
entertaining. Yeah.
It's right up your alley.
Drew Barrymore is good though. I
love Drew Barrymore.
She could pull that off.
Yeah.
She could pull anything off.
Yeah, I always think of her as kind of a playful, cute, fun-loving person, like from her E.T. days to The Wedding Singer, and then she was in Scream, and then she's in other horror movies. Like,
she's good.
Yeah, no, she's really good.
We were talking about what Halloween movies like. You guys mentioned also what Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I forgot about Beetlejuice. Love Beetlejuice.
Which I think it was more as a comedy. I don't think of it as Halloween, except there's the whole Netherworld and the demon. And
it was just so different for its time.
It
was so fun.
Yeah, it was good. Did you guys see the sequel?
I have not seen it yet.
No. I think it's just called Beetlejuice, right?
Yes.
Like a joke where I guess if you say it a third time, you have to go watch it, which
was it good?
Is torture. No, I don't think it was very good.
Oh, well, then I guess there you go. We don't have to watch it.
Thanks for saving me the time.
We just saved everybody
$17.
And
Mark, you were talking about everyone has been. I obviously love true crime. I love murderous things. I love serial. Well, I don't love serial killers. I think they're interesting, and I think people who do things to people like that are, fascinating. I don't love them.
How do you get yourself in another human's mind like that?
Yeah. So everyone has been saying, Erika, you got to watch Monster on Netflix. You saw it, Mark.
The new one, the Ed Gein one.
The Ed Gein one.
The Godfather of serial
cringing
killer.
over there.
There's never been a show where I've had more people say to me like, I just could not finish it. My wife was like, I'm out. I'm not watching this anymore. It's too freaky. But I gotta tell you, the first 7 episodes really freaky. Episode 8, a laugh riot.
Really?
This is the guy who wears other people's skin?
Yeah.
So where's the lighter side of that?
So episode 8 is kind of like a postscript. He's been caught. He's in a mental institution, and
that really
what you find out. And I had never thought about this, but because he did this 1957 to mid 60s in Wisconsin, he was the first big serial killer to get a lot of press, and he more or less became an influencer for other serial killers.
An influencer.
Yeah. So you had Ted Bundy, right? Ted Bundy was a necrophiliac who killed women. And Ed Kemper.
I mean, I've met some women who are cold, but at least they weren't dead.
Yeah, Richard Speck was another one. It's
and your boy Gacy.
Yeah, I don't know if Gacy was really. I don't know if he was
he was more of just like this weird clown double life.
Yeah,
murdered a lot of dudes and tortured them. Right? I mean,
closeted.
Yeah, closeted. Yeah. Closeted.
I saw the actor who plays him on a cable show.
Yeah, on Peacock right now. There's a new one.
Yeah, there's a new one.
And he was. You could tell he was kind of embarrassed. And it was one of these things where everybody's in studio, so they're sitting around a round table. And all the people interviewing, it was one of these things where, it's not really Gacy, right? But they all kind of were leaning away. All their body language said, don't get too close to this guy. And they were like, and it was one of these things where they clearly had talking points. And so they're saying, well, it's not exploitive of another. And he's like, yeah, no, we were very cognizant of that. So we tried to go into the lives of the victims and stuff like that. It's more exploitive for all you freaks out there who love this kind of creepy stuff.
What? I feel like he's talking to us, Eric.
Present company excluded.
I don't want to see it now. I mean, this is
I know.
okay. I'm going to sound like a bad person, but I find the perpetrator far more interesting than the victims.
Mark, are there any squirrels in your neighborhood or cats?
That's kind
I'm
of what they
sorry.
want, though.
I'm sorry.
That's what these serial killers want.
It doesn't mean
is
I
they
don't
want
have
the fame.
I have enormous empathy for these people. Like it's, I feel really.
You mean the people who are killed,
The
right?
victims, and their families.
That's,
I mean,
you didn't have to
obviously,
reach
I
for
don't
that
even
one.
have to say that. That's fucking the guy's
Right,
insane.
that's understood.
But what I always marvel at is how they can't stop because it's a compulsion, right? They just can't stop doing it and won't stop. But then I love the police work, like and how they catch these people.
Yeah.
Like I find that stuff really fascinating. Like just
Son of Sam, they caught him from parking tickets. You know, like they tracked his parking tickets and they realized, oh, this freak is everywhere somebody is killed or disappeared. So I kind of do like that part. I like the detective story, but when they're trying to get into the mind of the murder, I guess that's useful in case you have a friend where you're like, well, it kind of reminds me of that guy I saw on TV. I better
I used to
keep
want to
the
do that. I wanted
cheerleaders
to
away
be a
from his
criminal
house.
profiler. I think it's fascinating. I think it's interesting. And I do think that they depend on criminal like look at Mindhunter.
Yeah.
They depend on profilers to figure out, okay, what's their next step going to be?
Ed Kemper, big fan of Ed Gein, by the way.
There you go. I know. But they do get in their minds because are they disorganized? Are they organized? So they can figure out, okay, they are the kind of guy who lives alone. They are a kind of guy who is like a Gacy living a double life.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to argue we just we don't make serial killers like we used to, right? There's no. I mean, when's the last serial killer?
Well, it's probably because
that's a complaint.
Well, because it's hard. No, it's
okay. I just want to be clear.
I'm just saying there were a lot in the 70s.
Not sure I want to be in a basement with you.
The 60s and the 70s.
I think it's probably because technology, they can't get away with it as much.
Or maybe if you're just freaky like that and you have this sort of socially unacceptable behavior, you just go online now. You don't have to lure people into your 66 Chevelle. You can just dial into, Whack-A-Teen or some creepy site.
Andrew Cunanan is like the last one I can think of. That was right before the internet.
Oh, he was.
You just lit up when I said.
Well,
Andrew
he was
Cunanan.
active in Chicago when I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And one of his last victims was this
super rich
guy who was very politically connected and like managed all the property in Chicago. And he was one of the last victims. Everybody's like, no, they just kind of worked together. I think maybe they met each other at the country club or something, because nobody wanted to acknowledge it's in the mid 90s that this rich guy who was a pillar of society, who had this beautiful family, was gay. And it's like, I don't know how he met Cunanan. Maybe it was like, maybe he gave him a ride, like without his pants on. I mean, it was just, but it kind of furthered his ability to operate, because no one would admit, like, all these rich guys he's killing are closeted gay guys. And so society's hangups sort of enabled this guy to keep going, because nobody really wanted to tell the cops, oh yeah, they're both hanging out together in the steam room. It's like, I don't know where they met. So they couldn't put those pieces together to create that profile and sort of, figure it out.
Right. Well, what you're saying is essentially most of these serial killers have these compulsions that they are hiding, like Dahmer, necrophiliac. You have Gacy with his double life and his
Son of Sam and his voices.
There you go.
Yeah, and the dogs.
Oh yeah, the dogs.
He could have just volunteered at the Humane Society. That would have been.
You okay over there?
Oh my!
Sorry, I'm looking for the cough button, but in the new
anymore.
studio, the cough button is my elbow.
Down, but I'm kind of lazy. Kind of lazy and tired because of last night.
Yeah, because you just buried a couple cheerleaders. You freak.
What?
Why cheerleaders?
I didn't want to see Boy Scouts. I don't want to judge anybody. I mean, if I was going to have some sort of obsession, it would probably be.
I knew you were going to
It's
go
not an
there.
obsession. Oh, you mean if you were to be a serial killer?
Well, I mean, you're fascinated by these guys. It makes me wonder,
Wonder how you
see yourself.
I'm interested in how people tick in general.
Yeah.
And, when you're that miswired, yeah. Richard Ramirez is the one that really freaks me out. I can't.
He's scary.
Rich Rod?
Those eyes.
Rich Rod. Yeah.
His eyes.
I know.
Rich Ram? I don't know.
Richard Ramirez is easily the freakiest.
His eyes scare the crap out of me.
Yeah. Because they're dead.
They're just.
And he's got his teeth are all mangled and his hair is like, ugh.
Yeah, he's just like
he looks like a
demon.
monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
But some of the serial killers, they'll have the freaky eyes, and sometimes they'll go dead, but his are just always dead.
Yeah.
He's like a living demon.
I'm a little freaked out being with two encyclopedias of complete psychopaths. I mean,
Erika, top 5 serial killers.
yeah, I have
Go.
no idea who you guys are
There
talking
is
about.
one. There is one serial
Marry
killer.
one, kill one, screw one.
Well, Bundy.
We're in the U.S., though. There are serial killers in other countries who have killed way more people that we just don't even hear about.
Really?
Yes.
This
There's
is going to
one
open
guy.
up a whole new world.
I know.
mean,
it's a
what-
whole new world.
Murder.
Wow.
Serial killers.
And I was just going to go back to
I'll look him up.
Oktoberfest.
There's one guy. I'm going to look him up while you guys continue.
I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to think. I can't think of any international serial killers, but you know,
I'll look him up. I know.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's by the number of victims.
unless you're planning to get abducted and murdered by a serial killer, you want to plan for your future, in which case Luke Nowacki,
There you go.
perfectly stable gentleman, can help you come up with a plan. And maybe it is one of those weekends where you get into a stranger's car and are never seen again. Well, before you do that, why don't you have a good time at the Caju Cafe? It's always good to go out on a high note. And perhaps you want to support this show before you are tortured and imprisoned somewhere. Become a soulmate and make a gift in perpetuity, because they won't find your body, so we'll keep charging your credit card until you're declared officially dead in 7 years. So that's a good way to support the show, even while you're being tortured by one of these freaks these guys love. I'm not sure those
by
are
the
the
way,
sponsor reads that we need, but
I know.
it is Halloween season, so
Well, just
a
to,
little
just
macabre,
to finish
maybe.
that last thought, one of the I won't say most infamous, but high victim count is Sam Little from 1940. He was a serial killer. I think he was convicted of 8 murders and confessed to 93, but
Which I don't even know if they believe he did 93. I think
but
that's
I think
a little
they
bragging.
they think it was more about they think he was involved in at least 60. So Sam Little.
And there was
where do these guys find the time?
I know. I mean, that's quite a commitment.
Don't forget, Detroit has their own famous serial killer,
Yeah,
Carl Watts.
Carl Watts.
Is he the one who was killing the prostitutes
Yeah,
in the motels
which
in
is why no one cared.
Highland Park or Hamtramck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, is these guys who prey on people. And there was a great book. I don't think it's been made into a movie about the serial killer. I think he was considered one of the first modern serial killers who was running rampant in Chicago during the Columbian Exposition of like 1898. And it's
Oh, you're talking about H.H.
Devil in the
Holmes?
White City or something like
You're
that.
talking about proud Michigan graduate H.H. Holmes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Right up there with Kaczynski. You guys are the leaders and the best.
You know
Nobody
it.
murders people like you guys. I hope we
H.H. Holmes was, I mean, his big thing was he would.
don't finish that. I thought you were like one of the coolest serial killers.
No.
of all-
No,
Okay.
no, Demented, because he built that,
Demented,
that
yes.
house where people would be trapped and fall, and then he would, I think, pour lime on them and then sell the bones for medical research.
Oh, right. Yeah, like a modern day Sweeney Todd or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot
that's a
about
good
him.
way to describe.
Hey,
I was just trying to bring it back to culture, you know.
at least we've rid the world of serial killers. They don't seem to exist any.
Watch
as
all the
much.
serial killers listening are like, oh,
No,
that's
they-
what he
Hey,
thinks.
if you're a serial killer and you're listening, knock it off.
Knock it off. Mark said so.
Yeah, we should probably make it clear we don't condone serial killing. It's
Or I'll take it one step.
officially
I don't
against
condone murder of any kind, Elric.
That's true.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, you got me there.
What a strong take.
Yeah. I was like, well,
Notice I didn't say killing.
yeah, I see. We're bringing back the great debate because
It's a
obviously I
murder.
think you should certainly slaughter as many people as you can if they're innocent.
Michigan
as well.
State's never had an infamous murderer or serial killer.
There has to be one.
Oh well.
Oh,
so,
who we just lit up again.
Yeah.
This guy's getting really big.
So when I was, I don't know that this guy was a serial killer, but there was this really nerdy little guy who became obsessed with either somebody in the dorms or maybe a tutor or a classmate or something who had done some really horrible, creepy, murdery thing to her. And they found her a long time after it happened by going into a landfill, and they had to like pull layer, because landfills are almost like rings on a tree. You can tell
Yeah, like-
how long something's been there by how deep it goes, and they had to go through there and pull it back, and they found his victim, and they were so badly decomposed they had to take the skin off the corpse and then put it on a cop's finger to fingerprint the corpse to identify.
Oh, good Lord.
Boy.
Getting back to Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Wearing the skin.
Not good. But he was a student, and I think he only had the one victim, but it was one of these things where, he's still kind of crawling around on campus. And when I was at Channel 4, I exposed how Eastern Michigan University had covered up a murder on campus where the guy had killed a woman in her dorm room during the break, like a winter break. And the cops found the body, claimed it was like a whatever they call untimely death or something. They wouldn't call it a murder.
Untimely?
Yeah. And this guy continued to cruise around Ypsilanti for like 6 months before they finally arrested him. And when I busted him by saying, you left the campus vulnerable to a murderer because you didn't tell anybody that he was out there, and they're like, oh, no, we're watching him the whole time. Oh, you had 24-hour surveillance on him for 6 months? The vice president for student affairs, who was part of the cover-up, got fired. The president got fired. The chief of police got fired. And I think the first time they tried this guy, they had a hung jury because his defense was they found DNA on her. I'm trying to be tasteful here.
Right.
They found DNA on her, and they said, well, he just stumbled into her dorm room, saw her there, got excited, and left DNA. And then part of their defense was, he jerks off on people all the time. Like,
well, I want him locked up then for that.
Yeah. So then they retried him and he was convicted. But it was one of these things where everybody knew he was a creep. He had a long rap sheet, and for 6 months he's floating around
now you wonder
campus.
what he did during those 6 months.
Well, that's what I mean. You talk about, are we done with serial killers? Are we done with serial killers, or do we not know
maybe we just don't
where they are?
Yeah.
And then we had Walchek on the show a while ago.
I was just going to mention,
talking
John
about
Norman Collins.
Yeah, from Berkeley, who one of my good friends in campaign, wasn't he from Berkeley?
No, I mean, are you talking about the Michigan murders?
Yeah, he went to high school.
Oh, I didn't know he went to Berkeley.
I believe so, because
I just know he terrorized Michigan and Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, one of my good friends and one of my campaign volunteers went to high school with him and said, oh yeah, I knew him. He was a nice guy. He was a dreamboat. Everybody, he was like really good looking, had kind of the wavy JFK haircut, rode a motorcycle.
I know someone.
He may have been a football player or something.
I know someone that was friends with one of his first victims.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's an awful story.
Yeah, so we've had our share.
That book's really good
creeps.
though.
And Bundy was active in Ann Arbor, wasn't he?
He was.
He was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was there. I think he watched the Rose Bowl in 1981 in Ann Arbor.
Oh, and you know what? He said,
Which Michigan won, by the way. I just want to make sure everybody.
Oh, that wasn't the Charles White
Washington.
one? Was that 79 with Charles White?
I think so, yeah.
Isn't that what turned him into a serial killer? How he got Wolverines got jobbed by the refs?
Are you trying to say the Wolverines turned Bundy into a serial killer
No,
right now?
You had H.H. Holmes, right? You got Kaczynski.
Lord.
It's like the leaders and best of murderers.
Wow.
And they certainly killed the Spartans
do
last
something,
year.
you might as well be the best.
Or 2 years ago, 49-0. That was a bloodbath. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again.
Have you ever read the Michigan Murders?
No.
About John, I don't know. So that book's really good.
What was it? John Norman Collins?
Yeah. If you like police work, maybe I had too much on the trial, but the police work and how they caught him was just really interesting because his uncle worked for the state police and was gone for a week. And
right.
John Norman Collins stayed at their house and killed somebody there. And he noticed, he goes in the basement. He's like, why is our washing machine moved? Like, he noticed that.
Yeah, why does everything smell like bleach?
Why does everything smell like bleach? And so then, of course, they found blood underneath the washing machine. They found hairs, which at first they were like, well, we cut our kid's hair down there. Maybe that's it. And they're like,
no.
These are the curly kind. So
no.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And they found, I want to say they found a bunch of evidence down there. But that
I would say blood and hair is a bunch of evidence.
That guy freaks me out. No, I mean other things.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he kept trophies and
it's usually
sick.
something.
It's just
they usually
sick.
keep something.
Which is
I think,
once again Eddie Gein.
I think one of the underappreciated horror movies. I think it's a horror movie in my mind. Is that movie with Kevin Costner and Dane Cook? Mr. What's it called? Where Kevin Costner's a serial killer and he very carefully orchestrates all his killings. Yeah, it's everybody plays against type. Kevin Costner, the
Mr.
America's
Brooks?
hero, Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Brooks.
Where Kevin Costner's a serial killer.
I think that movie was decent.
And he kind of goes straight. And then Dane Cook finds out that he's and gets fascinated by him and tries to get him back into doing serial killing so he can hang out with them. And then he's worried that maybe Kevin Costner's going to kill him. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I'm watching. I'm like,
oh, maybe
I like Kevin Costner, and this is scaring the shit out of me. And I kind of like Dane Cook, and I'm like, he's really creepy because you keep thinking he's going to be funny, and he's not. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of like his stand-up now, but
yeah,
which is a different form of serial killing.
A little bit. Yeah.
Now he kills like 10,000 people a night, but he doesn't kill. Yeah. But that's a creepy movie because it gets into that sort of that pathology of it's a process, and where the victims are. They're not human, they're almost not like prey, but where it's almost like a call of nature or something where it's a mechanical thing. And the best Hannibal Lecter movie was the first one, Manhunter, with William Peterson, when he plays the FBI profiler, and that's how the murder, the Tooth Fairy, turns to Hannibal Lecter as his inspiration and his tutor, and wants to emulate him, and what a great movie though. If you've watched, the Anthony Hopkins ones, he's too over the top. It's too hammy. But Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter,
I don't think Silence of the Lambs.
That's a creepy dude, man. That is
Silence of the Lambs is a pretty perfect movie.
I thought Silence of the Lambs was great.
It's funny. I don't even
Watch
consider that a horror
Hannibal
movie.
Lecter.
I don't either. I
watch
think it's more
Anthony
of like a thriller.
Hopkins. Yeah, like a whodunit. But
that is so on brand for you to go. Silence of the Lambs, not even the best Hannibal Lecter movie.
No.
Yeah, you like the Rolling Stones? This demo tape from the Rolling Stones from 1958.
Yeah,
After that, they sold out.
Yeah.
When they did Satisfaction, it was over for me and the Rolling Stones.
What a ridiculous
When Brian
statement.
Jones died, I was gone. Ronnie Wood's garbage. He's trash.
Silence of the Lambs is not even the best Hannibal Lecter
I know.
movie.
Who says that?
Watch Manhunter and then come back to me.
Okay.
It's great. Any movie that has Inagata DeVita in slow motion when a guy's fighting a serial killer is pretty good. It's pretty good.
You finished?
Again, if you're not planning to be captured or murdered, Luke Nowacki.
I got excited about these serial killers. I lost track of time.
See?
Well, Erika, we're looking forward to your big story. Erika may have a special video treat for folks. Not a trick, it's a treat. So watch for that. And if you're a soulmate, thank you for enjoying The Devil in a Red Blouse, not a dress. It's a red top. I'm not really good with. It's not a chemise.
You're not good
is
with
it?
colors. And
no, I'm not sure.
I thought it was orange at first. So
yeah,
shows how bad my vision is.
But Erika's ready for Halloween. If you see her on the street, talk to her.
Come say hi.
She probably won't hurt you. But if she tells you, just come into the van, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
So it goes without saying, if you're a serial killer, you're our geek of every week. We don't condone that type of conduct. We don't even.
You don't even have to say that, obviously.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to get canceled and then murdered and then lost and then found years later.
Well, first off, you never said anything. Only horrific thing you said is that Silence of the Lambs isn't the best. Insanely horrific.
You can't.
So I said it all. I'm the one that said it.
Yeah, but I've seen both movies, so I think I'm the only one here qualified to judge. But if you listen, folks, things are getting a little crazy here in the world. We know that the government's shut down for reasons that are silly. We have lost the art of compromise. We no longer trust people who tell us the truth, and that's a problem. But I want to take you back to a little thing called Vietnam, which started out as military advisors and ended with 50,000 of our mostly young men, mostly blue-collar men, slaughtered, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Vietnamese killed, and our country torn in half, and the world changed forever, and probably not for the better. And the people who told us that this thing was not what we believed it to be from what was coming out of the Pentagon was the press. It was reporters. It was reporters who were in the shit, watching it, reporting back, getting killed, telling us the truth. And when the generals told us it was a winnable war, when they lied to everybody up to and including the president, it was the reporters who told us the truth that we needed, that we deserved, and that saved countless lives. And for those of you guys who get hung up on the whole term blood and treasure, saved a shitload of both. And now reporters are banned from the Pentagon because they wouldn't sign a pledge that said, we won't report anything that you don't want us to report. We won't report anything that you said was fair and accurate. We won't report anything that you haven't essentially blessed. Now, if reporters and the media had agreed to that in the 1960s and early 1970s, we might very well be in a forever war in Southeast Asia. So Fox News, by the way, wouldn't sign the pledge. They moved out too. So if you think this is a left and a right thing, it's absolutely not. This is a truth thing.
The only entity that I think signed it that I had even heard of was OAN.
Yeah.
So I don't even think Newsmax didn't sign it.
No, and if you heard the list of the people who signed it, it's like some weird blogger from Australia, some propaganda website. Yeah, I mean, it's all crap. Listen, folks, you might not like the news. Fair enough. You can change the channel, but somebody's got to report it. Somebody's got to get the truth out there. And when our government is trying to keep the truth from coming out, it's usually an indication that you're not going to like the truth. So Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, who actually reported stuff that should have got him fired, who wants us to sign a pledge that we won't report stuff that he doesn't think is kosher. Go back to your hotel bar, get loaded, feel up some people, act like an asshole, do whatever you want to do. But please,
fire some fat people in his eyes.
Get rid of the beardos. Fire all your best friends who came into the Pentagon with you, apparently didn't like what they saw, who quit. But whatever you do, don't try and stop the truth from coming out. Because in the end, as Robert McNamara, the Secretary of Defense during Vietnam, there may be a day decades later when you look back and say, oh, wow, I made a mistake. I'm glad people knew about it before it went too far. So you, in one of the understatements of the century, are a Geek of the Week.
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
Unless you're a Spartan fan, football season is here. If you wear green and white, football season was here and is gone. But we'll see. We'll see. If your plan for retirement is to hit an 8-leg parlay, let me put it, bet the over with our defense. Bet the over. Maybe you should call or text Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748 after that bet fails. Or maybe even before you place that long shot. The key to long-term investing is to have less anxiety in the markets than Maz has on the Sparty concourse. And now he's got anxiety there because I think his daughter's a Sparty. Yes, so he's got all kinds of reasons to be worried. And now he's going to get run over by the guys in blue and yellow because they're going to buy up all the tickets on the secondary market because they're smelling themselves and loving it. Even though their team isn't that good, maybe the worst 5-2 team in the country, but we are certainly one of the worst 3-4 teams in the country. So
Sounds
we'll
like
see.
You watch them a lot.
I have watched some bad football played by teams in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Even Eastern Michigan, which often is an inspiring Cinderella story, not good this year. Western, struggling. Central, sellout, demon program. They suck. Good for them. It's really a shame. It's really a shame. Oh, sorry. Anyways, but, when you call Luke, forget all that. Don't worry about it. Because you know why? He'll make it all about you, sweetheart.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. member FINRA-SIPC.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc.
Okay, like everybody else, T-Bat says, I occasionally get knocked down, but I get up again. Oh, you know where this is going.
Unfortunately,
yeah. First, condolences to Teresa. That's my wife, Teresa Baldus, for the Detroit Free Press, who covered the Al Sabatka trial. You may have heard Al on this show when he sued Olympia Entertainment and the Ilitch organization. I think that's vaguely who he sued, but basically the Red Wings for firing him after peeing in a drain. T-Bat says, condolences to Teresa for having to cover this PP story, but also married to ML. Man, it's going off the rails already. She may have witnessed similar behavior when, I got to pre-read these, when ML was desperate to relieve his bulging bladder. Well, certainly something bulging in that region, but we may never know. And I'm referring, of course, to my prostate. Unless Teresa someday publishes an ML tell-all. Well, there's a worst seller. Oh, do tell, Teresa. Do tell. LOL. Second, in honor of the potential $6 million pisser and possible Geek of the Week for outing fellow pisser dead Mike Ilitch. So I got to pause there. One of the two things with the trial that came out that really struck me is the judge ruled that Chris Ilitch wouldn't have to testify because she said it would just become a circus, which, I mean, I don't know about that. But Al Sabatka said, well, you fired me. Mike Ilitch used to piss down a drain too. If you wouldn't fire the boss, how can you fire me?
Because he's the boss. He's the owner. He could go in the middle of the Red Wings game and urinate in the center of the ice if he wanted to.
But it wouldn't make it less obscene. I mean, the thing isn't whether it's your building and you can do what you want. It's whether you violated HR in the same way that our guy who was having an affair at the Coldplay concert, even though he was the boss, there's certain things the boss can't do.
But yeah, okay.
So I think what Al's argument was, good for the boss, good for the help.
Bosses have different rules.
Well, they certainly do, but when you apply the rules differently, that's when you can file a lawsuit, and that's when you can go to a court of law, and you can have an independent arbiter determine whether or not the rules were equally applied or whether you were, as Al claimed, discriminated against. And of course,
but Ilitch wasn't even on trial, though. No one saw it. No one saw it.
No, but I think that's his way of saying if this is a fireable offense, I was just doing what the boss did. Now, of course, the boss isn't going to fire himself.
No.
But I think what he was saying is monkey see, monkey pee, if you will. Anyway, this is why we got to workshop this shit before we go live. So and for those of you who weren't following the story, Al lost, and the jury determined that he wasn't discriminated against. And Teresa spoke to some of those jurors.
It's a good article, yeah.
And we will share that link on our website, which is MLSoulofDetroit.com. But one of Teresa's takeaways was that it was a very young jury, and I think there's some speculation from folks who thought that Sabatka was going to win, is that young people don't have that urge to pee suddenly like old dudes do. And as someone who's getting to be on the older age of the spectrum, I think I might be a little more sympathetic to somebody who said, I got to take a whiz.
You know what I was wondering, and I'm sure it came out in trial, but I didn't see it in the reporting because maybe it was such a small thing, but was there a bathroom anywhere nearby?
I don't know.
Because you are in an arena, there are bathrooms all over the place.
Yeah. Well, maybe he just didn't want to cheat the company out of 2 minutes labor. He could be that dedicated. That's no way to reward your highest performing employees.
That's believable.
Anyway, T-Bat says, let's make Al Sabatka's swan song in room 7609 this week.
What?
Tub Thumping.
No.
By Chumbawamba.
No, I'm not playing.
Now, we discussed this, and Erika's gone, so she can't contradict me. She's so feisty. She's a woman in red. Devil woman. She-devil. But I suggested that Tub Thumping was not only one of the worst songs ever, but Chumbawamba was one of the worst bands ever. She disagreed, but I tried to rally and say, combination of worst song and worst band name, they should win. And then I thought about Chilliwack from Canada, but yeah. So,
I just don't want to hear that song, so instead I'm gonna play this for him. We'll meet him. We'll meet him not even halfway, but just a little bit.
TB says, just trying to have some fun. Mike, Mark, Shawn. Lord knows we need to have a few laughs in these crazy times. And of course, Shawn's someone who, if Drew was willing to fire somebody for pissing in a drain, we might not have Shawn on this show very often. So T-Bats, we don't want to deny you, but we do have standards here.
I get knocked down. I get knocked down again. You're never gonna knock me down. I take a whiskey drink. I take a chocolate drink. And when I have to pee, I use the kitchen sink. I sing the song that reminds me I'm a urinating guy.
I think that fits even better.
I think we've reached an equitable compromise.
Yeah.
I think we've done.
And that even worked the pee into it.
Yeah, and maybe the jury could have given Al a victory and then awarded him $1 in damages. Maybe that would have been a way for everybody to take home a little something. But we love your suggestions. And you know, T-Bats, I got to tell you, the story was worth it. So please keep them coming to mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. We love the stories often more than the songs. In this case, it was 99-1 story versus song. A little sweeter mix would be great. But if we don't start getting some suggestions, I'm going to have to come up with some theme months. And I was kind of thinking, what about greatest new wave song that is songs? I want to have a little franchise there by artists who sound like they're English native speakers, but are not. And I know what Shawn would nominate, but let's see.
Who would we nominate?
He'd go Falco for sure. Yeah. It was Shawn would be Falco or Nana, 99 Lift Balloons.
Are there many Halloween-esque new wave songs? I'm trying to think.
Oh my God, we're
going
to play one
again. This is like the third time I saw you light up.
We're going to play one next week, but of course we've played it here before, and you love this song. Halloween by Ministry. It's always Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's and when look, dude, Dark Wave is all Halloween all the time.
Never heard of them.
No, it's just a subgenre of
never
of
heard
new
of it.
wave. But yeah, no, I mean there are bands that are just everything is Halloween themed. It's unbelievable. I mean, and I wouldn't try
in the new wave world. I had no idea.
Oh my God, I wouldn't try and claim Trent Reznor as new wave, but I mean everything 9 Inch Nails does is kind of gothy.
But that's not Halloween. That's just
but Halloween
dark. I guess
Halloween is kind of a celebration of the things that scare you and sort of the
but the Monster Mash doesn't scare anybody, and it's considered a Halloween song.
It's not new wave.
Well, no, I'm just saying in general.
Trying to have some standards. I just thought we had a discussion
about
that.
Just Susie and the Banshees. They have a song Halloween. Did you know that?
Oh, I love Susie and the Banshees. Susie Sue. There's a great.
Oh, your favorite band, the Talking Heads, of course, Psycho Killer.
Oh yeah, Qu'est-ce que c'est? Which in French means, what's that? That's what it is.
I know.
Yeah, but
Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party.
Of course, from
which is in Back to School,
from
right?
the John. No, from the John Hughes epic Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Yeah. Remember they're playing at the party where they conjure up the bikers from hell, and the guy from The Hills Have Eyes is one of the bikers, and it turns out he's a teacher.
I think it's also in Back to School.
No.
Oingo Boingo, hang on.
They do something in Back to School. I think Oingo Boingo does something.
Thank
in Back
you
to
for
School.
the incorrect correction. Dead Man's Party was the song Oingo Boingo was playing as themselves at what's his name, Thornton Mellon at his party that he had.
Oh really?
Dorm room, yeah.
Oh,
that's
you
the
know
only
what?
reason I know that song.
Okay, Oingo Boingo did Weird Science, the theme song for Weird Science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
which of course is Danny Elfman.
Yeah, who also
did all
did
the
Batman,
Simpsons.
and I think he did The Nightmare Before. He does a lot with Tim Burton, so very, very dark.
Does a lot of the Simpsons songs.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Weird
Full
dude
circle.
too. Oingo Boingo.
You know what? Now
when
that
they
you mentioned that, because you said Tim Burton, I think he does the Nightmare Before Christmas songs.
I'm sure he did. I think he does. I think he did Edward Scissorhands and a bunch. Edward Scissorhands is a great Halloween movie, but I have to tell you, I only watch it all the way through once because it makes me so sad. That's one of those movies
it's just a movie.
I could cry to. It's very sad. Although I do like seeing Anthony Michael Hall get hacked up. That was kind of funny. But, yeah, his best role since Johnny Be Good, where he he destroyed his own career.
Well, Vacation.
Yeah, but Vacation was before
that,
16 Candles and before, then Johnny Be Good was terrible. Then he made a little bit of a comeback in Edward Scissorhands. Then he made a huge comeback in 6 Degrees of Separation. And then he was great in the series, The Dead Zone, which was also a great, maybe one of the best Stephen King movies of all time.
You know what's funny is Vacation just made me think of this. So the original Vacation movie, Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh, yeah. What year did that come out? Do we know?
Mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s, okay.
Yeah, had to be mid-'80s.
I remember seeing that when I was a kid. Probably.
Oh, no. It had to be earlier than that because...
okay, here it is.
Maybe 81 because Michael Anthony Hall was a little kid and he was a teenager by the time 16 Candles came out, which was in 84, 85, so...
National Lampoon's Vacation was 83. European Vacation's 85. I remember watching National Lampoon's Vacation on VHS not that long after it was in the theaters. So I would have been about 10 years old watching that movie.
You said it all in VHS. It's in the 80s.
Which is crazy. Even if I was 13, that's kind of young to be watching. I was thinking about that the other day because I'm so probably overly cautious on what my kids watch, which I tend to think is a good thing in a way. And then I was watching the John Candy documentary, Vacations, on there. Like, oh my God, I would love to watch that again. It's been so long. And then it hit me. It's like, I cannot believe I watched that when I was my kid's age right now, when I was Charlotte's age. Like that, I would never think of letting her see a movie like that.
Oh, no, yeah. When cable first came out, parents had no idea. I watched Used Cars, which is a totally underappreciated Kurt Russell movie with
well, while you think of it, I was also going to say I saw
Jack Warden is in it, and and Garrett Graham and a couple, but he and Lenny and Squiggy are in it. Michael McKean and whoever Lenny
David
Squiggy was,
yeah.
But there's a scene in it where they're doing this fake. Well, it's not fake. It's a real commercial for the used car lot, and they have strippers dancing on the tops of the cars, and when they pop the hood to show the engine on one of the cars, it tears the
shirt or the
brassiere off of the one of the strippers. And so, it's like 1981. The movie's maybe, I don't know, an hour and a half long. But when you're a kid, you're like bare boobs on your TV at home. You'd watch Used Cars every time it came on. It's like for a 3-second flash. We never thought about that as adults. There's no nudity warnings. It was rated and whatever. And back then, parents... They weren't ready, but now we're like, oh yeah, we got to check everything.
Well, now you can check it before it comes out with the internet. But it's just funny. I don't think I'm a worse person or a bad person for seeing that when I was a child. I don't think
you are kind of into serial killers, so I don't want to contradict you.
It's nothing to do with Vacation, though. Come on,
who's to say?
That's such a great movie.
We need a profiler to tell us that.
I know what I'm doing today.
I don't want to know. But and if you have a cat,
killing somebody.
If you have a cat in your neighborhood, if you live in Berkeley, get it in your house now.
I would never hurt a cat.
That's what Ed Gein said. But he did seem to have a lot of cat rugs. Or did he just have the flesh of humans? Did he?
Well, no, it started with animals because remember he was a hunter.
They all start with animals.
Remember he's a hunter, so
I don't know that much about him other than I don't want to know more about him.
Well, you should. He's a fascinating individual.
I'll take your word for it. He seems pretty scary.
I think he was more. I don't want to go deep into Ed. I don't want to go into the psychology of Ed Gein.
Yeah, no. So anyway, if you have a song suggestion for us, I guess that's
I was about to.
Yeah,
holding it back.
Please, and yeah. So there's lots of good goth stuff out there. So we will have more on that. And Room 7609, not the serial killing portion, is brought to you the Kaju Cafe, which is a great place for a great time. They got feather bowling, they got a fantastic kitchen. They have live music, indoor and outdoor. I think it's probably mostly going to be indoor these days, but big week coming up. We've got karaoke on Wednesdays, one of the longest running karaoke nights in the city. On Thursday, Amber Selke has her book signing, Silence Between Measures. There's the Jazz Jam with the Bill Meyer Group, which is the longest running jam session in Detroit. Friday, the Abbey Road Project. I wonder what kind of music you're going to hear then. You may find Drew there. On Saturday, Morning Glory, which is, Mark, you should know.
Oasis.
Of course, an Oasis tribute. Sunday, Planet D Nonay and the Jordan Young Trio. Monday, Tasha Owens and the Stable Dudes Open Jam. And of course, it's Muscle Madness with all you can eat muscles. That's at the Caju Cafe. Find out more about what's going on. Find out hours. Check out the menu. Check out the playlist at cajucafe.com. And if you're there when my kid's working, and other times too, tip your servers and your bartenders.
Mm-hmm.
They're working hard, man. They're working hard. So I'm kind of pleased to announce that we've had a little action on the sponsor front. Of course, no new advertisers, sponsors. We're grateful to Luke Nowacki and Pinnacle Wealth Strategies and the Caju Cafe for keeping us coming back every week. It's not enough, folks. We couldn't do it just based on their support. We have a crew of 4. We have expenses. This show may seem cheap, but it's another one of those sleight of hands where it's actually a very elaborate and well put together production with a behind the scenes cast of thousands who are paid singles, pennies, nothing.
Dollars.
Yeah. But our biggest support comes from you guys, our soulmates. And if you are not a soulmate yet, please consider supporting us for as little as $5 a month. You can watch the show. You can get it before everybody else. We don't have those annoying insertion ads. And you get benefits like our monthly bonus episode. We're going to come up with ways to give you a few more incentives to support us. And when we have special events, you'll be a VIP. If you are a supporter and you're feeling good about it, you can do what Matt Jennings did, which is increase your level of support.
Man.
So we don't have a new soulmate, but we have a soulmate who's even soulier.
That is a good man, too.
Yeah. Generous man. And he's one of those guys who gives till it hurts because he's a working guy.
Yeah.
So he appreciates the show.
That dude
has been a big part of the show during COVID, trying to lighten up a very bleak period in our lives. His idea was to do it with comedy. I'm not sure that worked out, but he always
he made me laugh.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Matt is he has a very elaborate comedic mind, and he's got a huge heart. So you'll always see him at things like Killer's Christmas is coming up December 5th, by the way. I guarantee you Matt's going to be the first guy there and the last one to leave. And it's not just because he needs a warm place to stay on that night. Unlike me, who'll be sleeping in my car. So thanks,
like
Matt.
I did yesterday after the game.
Oh, dude. Yes. Yeah, we were going to talk about Monday Night Football. We both went to see football on Monday night. I got out of the parking lot in 30 seconds. You got out in the parking lot in an hour. And
I got to my car at after the Lions game, and I parked at MGM. Because I'm cheap. And I don't want to pay for
the
parking.
Great Hustle.
But I also it's right at 75 in the lodge, so it's like either way that I want to go, whichever faster. It's just I don't mind walking. So
and you like to lay a little wager, so you may sneak into the sports bet and put a little book and put something down.
I have my phone on me. I don't need to do that. I probably would have gambled from the parking lot of the casino whose app I use.
That was my desperate attempt not to make you seem like a complete freeloader. I utterly failed.
No, total freeloader. I don't pay for parking. What was I going to say?
You paid for it last night in your time.
I know. Well, but believe me, that went through my head a lot. So I got to the car at 10:47, I think is when I texted my wife. I did not move from my parking spot until about 11:15 and did not get out of there.
So you couldn't even back out?
Couldn't back out. Nobody was moving. Couldn't do anything. So I didn't get home till, about 1? I was in the general vicinity of my parking space for an hour and 50 minutes. And I was going insane.
That's longer than the first half.
ML, I watched the first half on my phone in the car while I was sitting there because I'm like, might as well watch the game that I just went to.
You watched the replay. Okay.
To take notes and everything. Yeah. So I guess I was doing work technically, but I was sitting there watching and I was just going insane. Like, why is nobody moving? And then, of course, people are just laying on their horn, which doesn't help anything.
Yeah, and then it echoes in there.
And then I became very zen because I'm like, all right, nothing I can do about this. Someday, maybe it'll be 3 a.m. These cars will start moving. It's gonna happen at some point. So I just sat there and watched stuff on my phone and dicked around it. But then it hit me. I'm like, oh my god, the time it took me to travel from the game back home is like driving to Cleveland. It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Did you think about just reclining your seat and taking a
Taking a
nap
nap.
and saying,
No,
at 2 a.m. I'll be the last car here and I'll just
That was my
roll
fear.
right
I
out?
didn't want to fall asleep because then I'd get there even later. I did think about going in a casino at that point, just to kill time. And then at one point,
book a room.
One point I thought of like, maybe I'll just leave my car here, go downstairs and Uber, because you could see that the roads were pretty clear. It was just everything was in the parking lot. I'm like, yeah, but then I'd have to come back down and get my car. So
that's insane. And
it was nuts. It made no sense either. And I think it's just where exactly I parked in the structure. It's just hard to get out and everybody's backing out and you got to take your turn. So lesson learned. You live and learn.
One time,
what football game did you go to that you got out in 30 seconds? Is this a soccer game? Is this a joke?
This was, I went to see Michigan State play UCLA in East Lansing because my friend Costa Papista, who runs the Flint City Bucks, one of their players plays for the Bruins, and so they want to see him play. And I will tell you, our defense was much better against the Bruins this time than when I saw him at homecoming.
I assume you're going to Michigan State on Saturday.
I am. We're gonna have a big tailgate, so if you want to come see us, come on and have a beer. I think the fun stops at 7:31.
Or us, the audience?
Well, you're always invited. I'm
never going. I'm certainly not going to East Lansing for a night game.
Pedro offers you his protection in East Lansing, but I know you don't want to come. But you have a standing invitation, and I think the game will be very poorly attended because it's going to be really cold.
Yeah.
A lot of people will have dumped their tickets, and I think by 7:30, a lot of people will be really tuned up and reluctant to leave their bar seat.
It's not going to be poorly attended, right?
By Spartans, I think it will be.
You think so?
I think depending on what happens, it could be all blue and yellow after the first half. Although, again, I'm not impressed by this Michigan team, and I thought that the Spartans showed more fight in Indiana than they have. But they just can't stop anybody. That's yet another. I can't tell you how many games I've been to in the last 5 years where I have not seen the other team's punter. How do you go through a full football game and not see the other team's punter, particularly when there aren't a lot of turnovers? I mean, I understand when the ball flips and then you're on offense all of a sudden, but you got to get a punt. I mean, you got to force them to punt.
So State's got a really good passing offense, though. That's one of Michigan's Achilles is their pass defense right now.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
If they don't get pressure on the quarterback, so how's the pass blocking?
Not great. Okay. But our guy's got some legs.
Michigan also has trouble tackling.
So do we. I mean,
dude, there was one play last week, and I'm not bringing this up to rag on Michigan State, but remember Eli Surratt touchdown? One of the early ones.
See, the painter used all the little dots.
What?
Wasn't he? He did the painting at the Surratt. Doesn't he have a painting at the DIA?
Jesus Christ. No, I'm talking about the football player.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess the other Surratt's eligibility.
I want to say it was the second.
Expired by being dead.
Is there a second touchdown or the third touchdown? And it's just a little pass where he, a little out, and he cuts it up. And I'm like, it was the worst attempt at tackling a person I've ever seen. I'm like, that is just... I felt for you. I felt for you, Michigan State fans, watching that.
Yeah, so I don't feel like I'm divulging anything because obviously the Wolverines are watching film and Connor Stallings is telling them shit. But the most dangerous play for the Spartans for the last 5 years or so, 3rd and long. I mean, you're like 3rd and long.
Hey,
so if they're going to convert,
it too.
Yeah, if they're going to convert, they're going to get a big chunk. No. It's usually a touchdown. Oh. So if it's like 3rd and 98 yards, it'll be a touchdown. So you're like, can you just let him get the first down and then we at least stack him up on the one? No, it's going to be a touchdown. I'm off the ledge on Jonathan Smith. I was ready to jump after homecoming game. I'm creeping back into the building after last week, but I don't know. And I hate that college football has become a win immediately or you're gone. And obviously we've talked about the money in college sports and transfer and everything like that. And I understand the dynamics. I disagree with all, but that's fine. But the biggest reason why is I do still think it's important, even at the collegiate level, even in a Power 2 conference, to teach about life through sports. And using my own life as an example, because obviously I think my life is an example for everybody. There's Jesus and then there's me. But if you give up after not succeeding right away, that's not a life lesson. That's not going to work. I mean,
what do you mean?
I have been such a late bloomer, and I think I've done okay, that if I gave up right away because things didn't work out.
Who's giving up?
On these coaches. Jonathan Smith's been there a year and a half. If you give up on him after a year and a half, you're not teaching people that you have to make a commitment and you have to invest and you have to give people time. If he sucks after 3 years, okay, he's out. But a year and a half?
Yeah.
Now, James Franklin, okay, you knew he was never going to get over the top, so fine. But he had 8 or 10 years there. College football now is teaching these kids from what they've seen, if you don't make the team, if you're not a starter right away, transfer. If you don't win it right away, get out of here. If you're doing well and you can make more money somewhere else, go there. Those are not healthy life lessons.
Can I present some evidence to the contrary?
Of course, you may.
USC starts off 0-4, blows out Deshaun Foster. So
UCLA.
I'm sorry, I said UC. You're right. UCLA blows out Deshaun Foster after an 0. They looked awful. They looked like one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Got blown out by New Mexico. So they blow him out. He was in his second year.
Yeah.
They blow him out. Portal opens after a coach gets fired for 30 days. I don't think they lost really anybody of any consequence. They have is it Tim Skipper? I can't remember. The interim head coach comes in and they've won 3 in a row. I mean, there's your lesson of not giving up. But would that have happened if they didn't fire an inept head coach?
I think Penn State's been exposed as a bit fraudulent, although they did have Drew Allard when they beat him. They beat him at home. They beat him in L.A. Mm-hmm. Michigan State, obviously, a team heading in the wrong direction, and they just beat Maryland, right? I mean, you're telling me bullying Maryland's a big deal, and I think that was a close game. So I'm not sold that UCLA has turned their season around. I think their schedule's been very favorable.
Yeah, but players could have easily left.
There's that.
They could be 0-7. Yeah, I mean, they could have quit on it.
I just don't understand. If you have a chance to go to UCLA or USC, how do you not do that? I mean, what a great place to go to school.
Yeah.
Great schools, beautiful campus. It's California. I mean.
Well, USC's always had a real rich football tradition. UCLA, I don't know why they can't figure it out for that case. Maybe because the stadium's so far away from campus. I don't know. I don't know what their problem is there.
Yeah, but it's the Rose Bowl. That's pretty cool.
But
then you can never fill it. So you're always playing in a half-empty Coliseum.
But I don't know. If the guy's not the right guy, fire him. It's better for the kids, right? They can leave. That's one of the smart things you have to admit about the portal is that these kids commit to a coach now. They don't necessarily commit to a school. They commit to a coach in his program. So that coach leaves. Yeah, open that portal. So if you want to leave, they can leave.
I would give you that before NIL, but now I won't because now you're being paid by the university, not by the coach. So you signed a contract with the university, so live up to your end of the contract. That's why I hate these coaches who leave in the middle of a contract. That's the one thing I like about these massive buyouts, and I think it's
not a real. It's
why Jonathan Smith is still here.
But it's not a real contract because they're not employees. It's a stipend. It's bullshit.
Here's the problem. There's nothing about college football right now that's real because it's all a sham.
No, but you know what it is? By far the most exciting time in college football history.
Well,
not even close.
It's not college sports. You know what? Here's
no,
where
it's not. It's professional.
Here's where we're heading. We're heading to where Europe is, where you don't have colleges don't have competitive teams. Professional teams have academies and development academies, and they have under 18 leagues and they have under 21 leagues. And that's really what they need to do. All these high schools, IMG and all these fraudulent high schools that are just athletic scholarship mills, just be what you are. Start a development league. So sports is no longer part of college unless it's recreational or intramural or part of your college experience, which is
you might get your wish.
Sort of what happens at places like Adrian, where their whole emphasis is on students have a full experience. You're a student, you're active, you're part of a team, you feel like you're engaged with something. I mean, I think I would love to see us head that way with our major universities only because
but don't you think
they've ruined it. They've just ruined it.
Ruined it.
They haven't ruined sports, but they've ruined college sports because this isn't about I don't know there are very many people, certainly not very many people who are there because they want to be Spartans. They're there because it's the best deal for them.
But see, I still think that is a small portion of the roster. Don't you think most players on a roster do go to class and do study and do get their degree?
I don't know about going to class, but you have 110 kids. Yes, 110 kids. Yes,
we always see the superstars, the ones who definitely have a chance at going to the NFL, and that's a big portion of a roster. And they might not be as interested, but to claim that every college athlete or college, we'll talk about the money sports, basketball and football, just are there for the next level, I think it's a little wrong.
No, and you do have, and even the athletes who don't go to class, there's so much tutoring support. If you really want to learn while you're there, it's a great opportunity. Like Cal Halliday was a starting linebacker for quite a while at Michigan State.
Refused to wear gloves, right?
I guess so. Yeah,
never made
sort
sense,
of the Brady Hoke of equipment.
That's a great analogy.
But and equally effective, unfortunately. But my understanding is he was like 3.5 or 3.7 in some hard science. So there are guys who are totally committed, and I do buy into the whole notion of these athletes who everything is so programmed. Like, how do they have time to go to class, dude? Let me tell you, I am so busy. I can't believe how much I get done only because I know every minute I have to be pushing something forward. If I was a student athlete, I'd be like, sure. I need to work out. I need to do my nutrition. I got half an hour. I'm going to read this book. And then I got, I can see how that works. Probably not great for socializing and feeling connected to your fellow,
they have plenty
your fellow students.
They socialize.
But
plenty
with certain people like, cheerleaders and stuff, but yeah, no, I don't know. I don't like where college sports is heading, and I don't like it even for those of us who can't make the games. That Indiana, a top 5 team in the country, is playing on Peacock. That's nuts. That's garbage. And I need a new router at my house, so I couldn't even watch it because it was so herky-jerky. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, you're right. TV runs everything. That's why this game's at 7:30 on Saturday. That's why I was talking about that.
It's why Michigan State played at what was it?
That's what I was going to bring up.
Midnight against USC, which actually was a pretty good game.
Last week, I'm like, God, I felt really bad for University of Washington fans that are going to have to get up and watch their team play at 9 a.m. because they're playing at noon in Ann Arbor. Like, that kind of sucks to have to wake up and get pumped up if you want to have a party or something at 9 a.m. And I'm like, oh, no, the only thing that's worse than that is being a Michigan State fan and having to start the game at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
And we were talking about it with soccer, with all the money going towards revenue sports, how long do you think these major universities are going to fly a team from LA to East Lansing in October to play soccer in front of several hundred fans at D. Martin Stadium?
No, it's probably not sustainable, which is why they're looking for $2 billion in private equity.
Yeah. And
believe me, I mean, you will find this surprising. Even I think there's a line.
Well,
and I don't understand the idea of bringing private equity. It's just money. They just want the money right now. But usually, don't you accept? I mean, I'm done with this stuff. I should ask Luke. Don't you accept private equity to help your company or your business grow? Right? So how is the private equity that the Big Ten wants to bring in, how is that going to help a program like Michigan State grow to make more money, or the Big Ten grow to make more money? It's not. It's just immediate money now that they'll spend right now. I just don't think you're going to see a return on that money.
Yeah, this is the college sports is a goldfish. Bigger bowl, bigger goldfish. Not different, not better, just bigger.
Well, I do think it's never been better for players, and I do think the competition has never been more equal across the country. I mean, you have Vanderbilt, and you have Indiana, and you have Virginia, and you have this handful of teams that would have been nothing without NIL.
Well, and Virginia, don't forget their program was decimated a few years ago by I think it was one of their players murdering some of their players.
3 or 4 of them, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a feel-good story. And, of course, it's hard to feel bad when Florida and Florida State are sucking the wind. But and teams in Texas who went all in, getting bludgeoned, love it. But
although they're the 2 big ones are doing just fine, A&M and Tech lost. But
but UT is struggling even though they had all the money. And, but no, listen, I'm not arguing about the quality of play. I'm just arguing about it's not a college sport anymore. It's not a college sport anymore.
No.
And that's,
but that's okay.
I go to watch these guys knowing they're going to get gonged, not because they're making a lot of money and not because it's the best team we can afford, but because they're wearing green and white. And when I can't go to see guys who want to be in that stadium because, like me, they wanted to be Spartans, I'm out. You
sound like the infamous Michigan Associate Athletic Director, Hunter Lockman, I think his name is, who most Michigan fans hate because he's the one that said, people cheer for the Block M, not for Denard Robinson. It's like, no, they cheer for Denard Robinson.
But I've seen
plenty of people wear the Block M that were not cheered for.
Well, hey, listen,
it is still the players.
I cheered for Kenneth Walker III, and I don't know if he was in East Lansing for more than a semester.
Exactly.
So, but that was an outlier, and that's now the norm. That's the way it works now, and that's unfortunate.
Well, the good thing is you can cheer for the player or for the clothing.
It's the only colors, Mark.
So, all right,
green and
make
white.
a prediction then. What's going to happen?
It won't be 49-0.
No.
But I don't know that it'll be 24-17 because we should have won last year in Ann Arbor.
Mm-hmm. They outgained. I think State outgained Michigan last year.
Yeah,
right?
I think if you had Childs 2025 instead of Childs 2024, we win that game. In Ann Arbor last year, but I think, we can't run the ball. You guys, your backup running back is doing pretty well. Is Haynes going to be back?
I don't know. I haven't seen much about that.
Yeah, he's a battering ram, so that's going to be tough. Just like that Mullins was last year. Yeah. I think he hammered the shit out of us, just like the A-Train did many, many years ago to kind of start the resurgence.
Or Chris Perry. Didn't Chris Perry have like 52 carries against Michigan one year?
Maybe
I'm exaggerating, but I think he had a ton of carries.
I think it was A-Train.
Was it A-Train?
Where they came back in East Lansing. He just hammered the shit out of us. Just wore us down. But I think, I think the first half's going to be close. The question is, can we score in the second half, which we haven't been able to do very well. So I will be there till the end anyway, but I don't know what's going to happen. I'll just tell you this. Here's what I don't like about where we are as a program. We're back to those dark days where if we can just beat Michigan, this is a good year. That's not a good year. You beat Michigan on the way to putting together a good year, and I think that's a shame.
Well, how many wins with a victory over Michigan would be a good year for State? I mean, because look at Michigan last year, right? You beat Ohio State, and it makes that 8-5 year more palatable. You beat Ohio State and Alabama.
Yeah, but you're still bowl eligible. So
that's what I'm wondering. So
yeah,
is it
we're
just bowl
3-4. If we beat Michigan, we're 4-4. Maybe we get a little momentum. I think we can beat Maryland. I think we can beat Minnesota if we get on a roll.
Yeah.
Maybe we get to 6-6. I mean, but you don't get to 6-6.
And a victory over your rival is pretty big.
You don't get to 6-6 without beating Michigan. What happens is, if you get to 6-6 and beat Michigan, you have people saying, "Okay, wait a minute. Let me pause this." You probably hold on to your recruits. You probably have people renewing their season tickets. You give the coach a little breathing room, and you see what happens. And next year, it's do or die. But it's funny. The one year we're like, "Oh God, we don't get to play Ohio State. What a break." We get to play Indiana in Indiana.
Oh, God.
And I think you guys don't play Indiana, right?
We don't play anyone this year.
Yeah, so Indiana's got to be dying because they've had so many brushes with death against you guys where they're finally going to beat Michigan. They can't get over the hump.
They beat us last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
God bless
them. Down in Bloomington.
God bless those.
I think they beat us in 2020, that COVID year, too. So it's
you guys didn't forfeit that year?
Been pretty even this decade. By the way, I looked it up. 2003, Chris Perry, 51 carries, 219 yards against Michigan State.
Look up the A-Train because I think was that in East Lansing or was that in Ann Arbor?
That was in East Lansing. Michigan won 27-20.
That must be the. Was that the little brother game? I don't know if it would have been if little brother wasn't playing running back.
Well, Mike Hart would have been. Yeah, no, that would not have been the little brother game.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, good point.
Anyway,
it'll still be fun. Glad you're going. I'm glad I'm not.
Yeah. Speaking of Halloween and horror shows, we'll see what happens in East Lansing. But you know what? As long as some of those other 110 guys are there because they want to be Spartans, I'll keep coming. So please, please.
Oh my God, you all right?
We gotta
get you out of here.
We gotta get that cough button back. We gotta get some more soulmates, please. So, folks, sign up. If you don't want to support the show, you can make a one-time donation. We'd be happy to have that. You can go to our website, mlsoulofdetroit.com. There's a button for PayPal. There's a button for Venmo. Once and you're done, you can feel good about it, and certainly will feel great. And we will be opening the merch store soon, so if you'd rather get some swag for your cash, that'll be open in time for the holidays. We do have a little feedback. I kind of feel like this is dovetailing with our conversation. Kurt says, allegedly Michigan State mega donors are laughing in new athletic director Bat's face about paying Coach Smith's $33 million buyout. Then there's a little clip here on Facebook. In other words, that's why Smith wasn't fired on Sunday or Monday, and why we're now seeing the MSU narrative shift to be patient. And Coach Smith is such a nice guy, we have to give him a chance. Not because they actually like or believe in him, but because they can't afford to pay him to go away thanks to the albatross contract and buyout the former athletic director gave him. In contrast to UMichigan's Coach Moore, who has the smallest buyout in the BIG or the B1G. Well, Moore also inherited a national championship team and doesn't have any head coaching experience, so he's not going to be able to drive the hardest bargain. But you know, I know a couple guys who really watch the Spartans closely. David Harns from Spartans Illustrated and Jim Comparoni from Spartan Mag. They really like Smith, and one of the things that Comparoni tells me is he really emphasizes he wants these guys to be students. He wants them to have the college experience. Now,
I mean, that's nice.
When he first told me that,
win.
I loved it. They were 3-0. Now I'm like, class, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Watch some film. But
that's the sad reality of it. It's not you're not making these citizens or making men. You're not doing that.
I hope you are.
But that you can. That's a byproduct of it. Your number one job though is to win.
No, at those prices,
period.
And you're paying these kids because they can help you win. But
everybody loved James Franklin and loved playing for him. But you know what? He could not get over that hump and win.
With some of the best talent in the country, too.
Exactly.
So listen, I like Jonathan Smith. I liked John L. Smith, so maybe I'm the wrong guy in this conversation. But I think there are people who want him to succeed because they think he's a decent guy. I know people get frustrated he doesn't show emotion on the sidelines, but I don't mind having a poker player. I remember Tom Landry being a pretty successful coach, and you didn't know whether he just shit his pants or was set on fire.
Would you rather a Brian Kelly guy who's grabbing face masks and throwing your team under the bus in press conferences?
I want Nick Saban back.
Well, you just want someone who wins.
But
you would happily take a Brian Kelly if you won.
Well, we almost had Brian Kelly. We hired D'Antoni instead of Brian Kelly, and I think
damn well.
I think we made the right choice because I think Kelly would have been gone in a hot minute. Yeah. And I like that D'Antonio said, "This is where I'm going to be for the rest of my career," which I really admire. But no, I think there are people who genuinely like Jonathan Smith. But yeah, I think without a $30 million buyout, he doesn't get on the bus to Indiana. I think he gets on the bus to Beaverton and he goes home. I mean,
who gets fired first, him or Sharon Moore? Because there's a lot of noise about Sharon Moore. By all accounts, too. Great guy. Players love him, but you got to win.
Kind of a potty mouth. But
he's only 8-7 against the Power 4 conferences.
Yeah. You know what? I tend to restrict my speculation to East Lansing. I don't get into the looking at what's going on in Ann Arbor. I just hope when I do look over there.
That's interesting because
I see a
have a lot of opinions.
Fire.
Yeah.
Well, on the things that affect us, Connor Stallions affects us. That affects East Lansing. That's a Spartan thing, People talking shit about Dr. Nasser, but not talking about Dr. Anderson. That's an equity thing.
But you also just said that you don't think Michigan's very good.
Yeah, because we're getting ready to play them. They're a 5-2 team.
Oh, you've been breaking down tape?
And I'm sitting. No, but I watched.
They're not the worst 5-2 team in America.
No, they're probably not. But I watch those games. They're hard to watch. But I will say this: Michigan tends to pull ahead in the second half. Michigan State tends to disappear in the second half. That's not really the two storylines that you want to converge. No. You disappear, they emerge. Not good.
Michigan does not play well on the road.
Not good.
I'll say that.
Have they been on the road?
Yeah, they beat Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably their best to win.
And now Nebraska's not looking so good, and that was a
5-2.
sloppy game.
They're 5-2. Maybe they're the worst 5-2 team.
They just lost, I think, last week, didn't they?
Yeah, to Minnesota blew them out on Friday night.
Yeah, not good. So maybe Matt Rule is the one who gets fired before either of these coaches. He's got a big buyout too, doesn't he?
Well, he's going to leave. He'll be the Penn State coach.
Oh, right,
No doubt.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Here's the other reason for Spartan fans not to want to see Jonathan Smith fired. As it stands right now, even if we can tell who the best coaches are, we're in line to get the 6th or 7th best coach available. People are wrong about these coaches all the time. Yeah. Who's so good? Who thought Curt Cignetti was going to be the best coach in America? Good luck there. But we're not going to get a better coach than Penn State, than Florida, than Florida State, probably one of the Texas schools. It's just not going to happen.
Virginia Tech, UCLA. That's a really interesting point. Do you keep them because it's only been 2 years at the end of the year and they're a very competitive landscape to hire a coach, or do you roll the dice next year that he's going to improve and then pull the trigger 3 games in if they are terrible?
If somebody gave Michigan State,
you don't want to be late firing a guy.
If somebody gave Michigan State $1 billion, then you let them all go. But right now, you lose him, you lose his players. You need to come up with NIL money. You need to come up with money for a coach. You need to come up with money for a coaching staff. You have
private equity.
You have to have such a huge amount, and Spartan Stadium needs to be upgraded. So if you're going to have private equity money, that's a better use of your influx of cash. But I don't know. I can't believe, we started off this episode talking about horror shows, and we're going to end it talking about horror shows. So
all right.
Thanks for listening. We expect Shawn to be back next week. He was at Monday Night Football last week. Apparently, he parked next to Mark, and just isn't as dedicated as old Mark. Or maybe he had to write a story while he was in his car. I don't know. But we look forward to seeing you next week. Maybe I'll see you in East Lansing. I hope I'm laughing and Mark's crying, but we'll talk about it when we come back. And in the meantime, we turn to our friend Cyrus to not he's the Attorney General candidate in Virginia or anything like that to take us out, but
Can you dig that?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Halloween, the night he came home.
To the soul of Detroit.